Hey everybody. In this video we will go over vertex form. Okay, I have done a video such like that before, but I'll do another one. It was a very concern to me that many of you did not complete the warm-up of May 4th, which Monday's warm-up, because of not understanding what a vertex form is or not being able to know what to do. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go over it now. I'll go over a couple examples as well, and then just like the way I do the examples in the video, you will need to complete the worksheet that will be attached on the same day of this video. All right, so first let's talk about vertex form. So vertex form is y equal to a times x minus h squared plus k. So this vertex form only pertains to parabolas. So I hope by now you know what a parabola is. So if I made the xy axis and I created a parabola, the parabola looks like that. Okay, there's a vertex. The vertex could be the minimum and it could be the maximum. If your parabola is looking down, like this right there, then this right here is the vertex, and it would be the highest point on the graph. So this is our h and k here, and it is also h and k here. It's where the vertex crosses the xy axis, okay? So if this moves somewhere, like it becomes, like let's say it moves here, or it moves down a little bit, then h and k would have value. So h here is the movement or translation on the x-axis. The k is, let me just move this way and zoom in a little bit so you can all see it. It's the translation on the y-axis. And then a is shrink slash enlarge parabola, which means some of the parabolas can look really, really wide and some of them can look really, really narrow. How do I know if it's a really wide parabola or a narrow parabola? A tells you. It also tells you whether it looks up or it looks down. If A is positive, it looks up. So I'm going to write it here. If A is positive, parabola looks up. If A is negative, the parabola looks down. All right. Now let's get to an example. So I'm going to keep this, I'm going to write it again here, but I want to show something really quick. So if I have a formula for this formula is in standard form. And I hope everybody know that standard form is y equal ax squared plus bx plus c. That's standard form. Okay, and then the y equal to a times x minus h squared plus k, that's called a vertex form. And vertex form, it's called vertex form because it shows the h and k. It shows the vertex of the parabola. Okay, the standard form because it doesn't show anything. So in this video, I'll show you how do you have a formula that's in standard form and to convert that to a vertex form. That's the main goal of this video. You should be able to do that after I finish here. So first, let's do an example one, but I'm going to write here what we need to do. Convert to vertex form. Number one. Y equal x squared plus 16x plus, sorry, minus 57. All right. So how do I convert this to that? So first, we're going to convert using a process. It's called completing the square. I am hoping that everybody by now have heard that word before from at least your algebra teacher. Completing, sorry, not the form, completing square. How do I complete the square? Well, completing square is really putting this form into a vertex form. So since we don't have a coefficient of x here, that means our a will be 1. So I wouldn't really have to worry about a for this particular problem. So let me show you here. So first, I'm going to rewrite this. So you see how the x both are combined. So I'm going to write this and then open parentheses because eventually you want it to look like the vertex form, which I'm going to have it highlighted in yellow. So you know that at the end, I'm going to have it to look like this. So I'm going to open parentheses and then x squared plus 16x. And then I'm going to leave a space, okay? And then I'll close the parentheses. This right here is what we call the magic number. This is completing the square number. Now, don't forget the negative 57 will stay with you. All right, miss, why did we leave a space? Well, this space right here is the number that will complete my square. So what's that number that completes my square? This number, or what goes here, I'm going to make a box right there so that everybody knows what that one. This number is always positive. It's never ever negative. It's always positive, never ever negative. This number is b over 2 squared. This number is b, so I'm going to do an arrow and do here, b over 2 squared. All right, where do we get the b from? Well, remember where the standard form is. Look at the standard form on the top. What's b? B is the coefficient of x. B is the coefficient of x. All right, so where is that? Well, if you look at the actual problem given to you, b is the number in front of your x, which is 16. So it's 16 divided by 2 squared. Okay, you have to square it. If you don't square it, you do not complete the square. All right, 16 divided by 2 is 8. And then 8 squared is 64. So that's what goes here. And I'm saying, why is it always in a positive? Because you can never square a negative and get a positive. So this will be 64. Now, because this is an equation, since we added 64 here, I'm just going to subtract it from the outside to make sure the equation is still balanced. Remember, once you add something and you subtract it, you practically added nothing. Again, I add the 64 here, subtract it again from the outside. That would make this whole thing like you practically added nothing. Okay? So now from here, I'm going to go ahead and simplify what I'm going to highlight in green. I meant to highlight. So I'm going to simplify this. And again, your goal is to look at the yellow form that's on the top. Your goal is to look at the vertex form. So let's see. So y equal. I want to have something squared plus k. We know this is always x. This is really doesn't change. Okay, so now it's a matter of this number right there. What goes here? Well, 64, 16 and 64, it's a really factoring this right here. What are the two numbers? You multiply them together, you get 64, and you add, you get 16. 8, that's right. So it's 8. And the sign that goes here, it's the same sign that's to this plus sign, so it would be plus. And then we subtract the 57 minus 64, which huge number. And it would be minus, because minus and minus would be minus 121. Now, notice something. Let's change that to like purple or something. So this is 8. This is also 8. So this number is always b over 2, but without the square, because we kept the square outside. This number is always b over 2 without the square, because we kept the square outside. Okay, that's one way to complete the square. What would be a second an easier way to complete the square? Let's try number 2. All right, number 2. Oh. Xy equal to x squared plus 10x minus 7. Again, remember your goal is to look like the vertex form. Let's write it again. Y equal a times x minus h squared plus k. Remember, this a is 1 because the coefficient of x squared here is 1. So really not much to do here. So I'm going to keep this in purple or yellow, it's the same, because you want to always refer. You need to have it in that form. So y equal. Now remember to group the x's. So here's x squared plus 10x. Leave a space and make a box. This is your magic number. Close minus 7. Don't forget that 7. What goes here? Remember, what goes here is b over 2 all squared. Now what's b? Remember, b is the coefficient of x from the standard form. So it's 10 in this case, and this problem is 10. So it's 10 over 2 squared. 10 over 2 is 5. Squared is 25. So here is 25. Remember, you add in 25, add out 25. You must do the same. What goes here? Green. What goes here? Goes here. And it's that number here. Okay, you have to be, if you don't add that number, you practically change the entire equation, and you don't want to do that. All right, now make sure your answer has to look vertex form, so it needs to look like that. Well, how do I put it in this form? Here's what I do. Y equal. Well, it has to look in that form, so it would be x, and I need to find what h is, plus, I know k would be whatever the sum of these numbers be. So negative 7 plus 25, and I think it would give us 18. 25 minus 7. Yes, 18. And it's positive because 25 is positive. So what goes here? Well, again, what goes here is the factor. So think about it. What's the two numbers we multiply together? We get 25. We add, we get 10. 5. Yeah, you got that right. So it's plus 5. And again, for simplicity, you can see it. This 5 right here, which is the b over 2, is the same as this 5 right there. If we were to simplify the x, if we want to go backward, just to make sure that you know the process, if we want to go backward, so let's say x plus 5 squared, this is the same as x plus 5 squared, oh, sorry, not squared, x plus 5 times x plus 5. It will give you this expression that we started with. Oh, no, this expression here that we created. Right there. Okay, now I don't need to do that because I need my answer to be in vertex form. Now, if you don't understand this, you can Google some on Khan Academies. All your answer must be in vertex form. You must show your work on that worksheet that I'm going to attach to that video. Your warm-up will be just watching the video and answering a few problems, and your work will be an assignment about 10 problems that you'll do of converting standard to vertex. Standard to vertex. All right. This is all. If you still need help, please reach out. I'll be more than happy to assist you in anything that you might um, need. Until I see you next, please stay well and healthy. Bye.